Have you ever given your whole heart and still felt empty? Have you ever made everyone around you happy, but when you looked in the mirror, you didn't recognize yourself? This is the story of a woman named Mira who forgot that kindness also needs boundaries, and love must begin from within. Until life forced her to stop, she finally learned a lesson many people never learn. If you keep forgetting yourself, you'll disappear inside your own life. In a small seaside town, Mira wasn't known for her beauty or wealth, but because she was always there when someone needed her. If a neighbor was sick, she brought medicine and soup. If a friend was sad, she stayed up late just to listen. People said, Mira is everyone's woman, but no one knew what happened after her door closed. The room was silent. Her dinner went cold, and the mirror reflected a face that hadn't smiled in a long time. Every morning, Mira woke up before sunrise. She brewed tea, swept her yard, then visited her elderly neighbor, Aunt Lena. After that, she went to the small village library where she worked, teaching children to read and telling stories about kindness. The kids adored her, but while they laughed, her smile was faint, gentle, weary, patient. And every night, Mira sat in her quiet kitchen staring at an empty chair, the one that no one ever used to ask her, "Are you okay?" One autumn afternoon, Mira was arranging books when suddenly she felt dizzy. A book slipped from her hands and her vision blurred. A colleague rushed to catch her, saying, "Mira, you have to rest." But she replied, "There's too much to do. The school book fair is next week." That later never came. A few days later, as the fair buzzed with laughter, Mira collapsed in the crowd, still clutching a stack of books. When she woke up, she was in a hospital bed. The doctor said gently, "Your body is exhausted. Your heart can't go on without rest." Mira whispered, "But the fair, the children." The doctor smiled. "Everything can wait, but your heart cannot. You've cared for everyone except yourself." His words echoed inside her like a bell. You've given so much without refilling your own soul. That night, a nurse handed her a small folded note, messy handwriting from one of her students. "Miss Mira, I hope you get well soon, and don't forget to smile for yourself." The note came from a quiet boy named Leo, one of her students with big, thoughtful eyes. The next morning, Leo visited her with a small wildflower in his hand. He said, "My mom says we must take care of our own hearts first, Miss Mira." Mira froze. Such a simple sentence, yet it pierced deeper than any medicine. When Mira returned home, everything looked the same. The old chair, the little table, the faded garden, but she had changed. She looked around and whispered, "I'm sorry, Mira, for forgetting you." From that day, she decided to change. Not to stop helping others, but to start helping herself too. Every morning, she took time to eat breakfast slowly, writing a few lines in her journal. How do I feel today? In the afternoon, she walked along the beach, breathing in the wind and listening to the waves, sounds she had ignored for years. She started painting again, planting new flowers, and sometimes just sitting still. Her weary heart began to bloom again. At school, her students noticed something new. Her smile brighter, her voice calmer, her spirit lighter. And most surprisingly, she learned to say no. At first, people were shocked. Mira has changed. She isn't always available anymore. But soon they realized she was happier, stronger, and more alive than ever. Aunt Lena once asked, "You look different these days, my dear. What happened?" Mira smiled. "I just started treating myself with the same kindness I used to give everyone else." Mira's life became like a steady candle, no longer burning wildly and fading fast, but glowing gently and lasting longer. She still helped others, but no longer lost herself in their stories. She learned that love without boundaries becomes a burden. And from her, people around her began to learn that truth too. One afternoon, Leo visited again. He pointed at the empty chair in her house and asked, "Miss Mira, why do you always keep that chair empty?" Mira smiled. "That chair," she said softly, is for me. Whenever I forget myself again, I sit there, breathe, and remember who I am. Leo didn't fully understand, but in his eyes, Mira saw her younger self, the woman who once loved the whole world except herself. Years later, people still talked about Mira, but now they didn't just say she helped others, they said she taught everyone how to help themselves. Her story became a lesson for every exhausted heart, for everyone who gives until there's nothing left. If you're listening to this, maybe you're like her, always saying yes even when your heart whispers no. But remember, you can't fill the world with love if your own cup is empty. Take time to rest. Take time to breathe. Do something just for yourself. Because if you burn out, the world around you dims too. Self-love isn't selfish. It's the root of all true compassion. If this story touched you, share it with someone who keeps forgetting themselves and write somewhere today, I deserve love from myself.